Hey, Algebra kids, this is Dr. Callahan with week 14 Tuesday. How are you guys doing? The following are the 4 questions for your warm-up block today. So go ahead and take a look and pause the video and answer for week 14 Tuesday. All right, let's go and take a look at how you can go ahead and graph this line. Now remember, to graph this line, you always start off with a -3, and it's always on the y-axis. You're going to go up 3 steps. So 1, 2, 3, put it that right there. Then you'll look in front of the x, which is a 2 over 1, which means you go up 2 over to the right 1. So up 2 over to the right 1, up 2 over to the right 1, up 2 over to the right 1. If you run out of space, go down 2 to the left 1, down 2 to the left 1, down 2 to the left 1. Connect your dots, and you should have this beautiful, gorgeous line right there. All right. Last time I saw you guys, we talked about how to solve systems of equation with word problems. Today, we're going to talk about piecewise functions. So this is what we did last time, which is week 14, Monday. We went over the 3 different questions here. You guys also decorated your turkey. And today, we're going to move on to the next part. So take a look at the breakdown for today's notes. All right, this is your notes today. It is on week 14 Tuesday, so make sure you go ahead and turn over to that page. This is your second page right here, which we're going to go ahead and match, and you're going to do a little bit of practice work drawing these on your own. And so with that said, let's just go ahead and jump right in, you guys. All right, so I'm going to have you guys go ahead and get started on this page right here. We're going to start off with number 1. This is your number 1 note, number 2, and number 3. So let's get started with number 1. Example 1. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. For this question right here, what you're looking at, and I'm going to go ahead and redo this a little bit. So give me 1 second. Let me just go ahead and move that over a little bit. Oh, stop moving. Okay, so I think we should be good now. Okay, so looking at this part right here, first thing to do is going to ask yourself, okay, so I have 2 different equations. I have the first equation that is right here, and I have the second equation that's right there. Okay, and you look at the inequality signs because they're going to tell you which one you can use and which one you cannot use. So the second equation says x is greater or equal to 0. So that means it can be anything that's bigger or equal to 0. So any of these numbers all the way to positive infinity, you'll be using this yellow equation. Okay. Then the second one is this equation up here. And what that's saying is that if x is less than 0, which means x can be -1, -2, -3, -4, dot, 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 all the way to negative infinity. In which case, if you have any of those numbers, you use the green equation. So let's take a look at this. Here it's saying x is equal to -4. So x is -4. Do I use the green or do I use the yellow equation? Well, given the fact that 4 is right there, I will have to use the green one. So my answer is x minus 2. So -4 minus 2, -6. B, here it's saying x equals 0. So which equation includes 0? Is that the green one or is that the yellow equation? Well, 0 is right here. So that means I have x squared plus 1, which is a 0 squared plus 1, which is 0 plus 1, and it's just 1. All right, let's go on to C. X is equal to 3. So will you be using the green equation or the yellow equation? Well, given the fact that 3 is right there in the second equation, you probably use the x squared plus 1 equation, which is 3 squared plus 1. 3 times 3 is a 9. So your answer is going to give you a 10. All right. Now let's go ahead and take a look at your second example. So this is your second example on the same page. Okay, for your second example, you're going to be sketching this. And as you can see, there's a blue equation and a green equation. Let's go ahead and sketch the blue equation first. With the blue equation, you're going to start at the -2. So go down to, put a dot right there. And then you're going to take a look at the 1 over 1, which means you're going to go down 1 over to the right one, down 1 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 to the right one. And if you look at your line right here, if it's like this, it is a dotted line. So I have a dotted line. But you have another criteria. The other criteria is that when x is at 0, it's an open circle. So look for 0, open circle. And because it's less than, you're only going to use the left side of your graph. So you're just going to use this graph right here. So you're like, okay, so then what do I do with the other side? I don't need any of these because the only one I'm going to use is the left side of that graph. That's why it's called piecewise functions, because you're only going to be used a piece of it. All right, next one, I'm going to start at 1. So here's 1. Then x squared is always going to be in a shape of a parabola. So a parabola, which is going to be like a smiley face. Okay, so at 1, you're going to draw yourself a smiley face. But notice that there's an equal sign right here, so it's going to be a solid smiley face, not a dotted. And also notice that it's greater than 0, so at 0, you're only going to use the right side of this. So solid dot, right side. And what that means is I'm just going to erase that part. And this right here is your answer. And that's a piecewise function. Let's try another one. Here we go. Question number 3. I'm going to start this one with the 6. So I'm going to start off at 6. So here is 6 right there. Then if I look at this, it's a 1 minus 1 over 1, which means you're going to go down 1 over to the right one. Okay, down 1 to the right one, down 1 to the right one, down 1 to the right one, down 1 to the right one. If you look at your sign, there is an equal sign, so it is a solid line, and it's less than 3, so at 3, you're going to use the left side of the 3. So here's my solid line, and I'm going to go to 3, so 1, 2, 3. I'm going to use the left side of that 3. And make sure you erase everything else. Okay, now let's go ahead and graph the green one. Start off at -6, so all the way down here. And then you're going to have a 3 over 1. So you go up 3 over to the right one. So let's go 1, 2, 3 to the right one. 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 Notice that there is no equal sign, so it is a dotted line, like that. And then also, because it is greater than for the x, it is going to be on the right side. You're only going to be using the right side of this dotted line. So at this line, it's an open circle, and it's a dotted line. So that means I'm going to erase all the other ones that I'm not going to be using. And this is your piecewise function. Okay, so now what I would like you guys to do is you're going to go ahead and practice with this on this page. It is a second page that you guys have, which is right here. So go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and do this on your own. And actually, I will even help you with one of them. So pause the video. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and work on one together. Let's do number 5 together. Okay, so for number 5, you have x plus 7. So x plus 7 means you start at 7 and you're going to go 1 over 1, so up 1 over 1. So let's just take a look at this one here. And let me give me a second to set this one up correctly for you guys. All right, so looking at this one here, you're gonna go start at 7. So here is my 7, go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And look at this one, it is a solid dot. So solid going this way. But then remember, you're not gonna be using the entire line, you're gonna use a piece of it. So it's a closed circle, and you're just gonna use the right side of this. So at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, solid, right side of this line. So then you can just go ahead and erase the rest of this blue side, okay? So that's your first one. Next, we're gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and graph negative 2x. Start at 0, it's an over 2, so you go down 2 over 1. So start at 0 and go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Do you see how this part right here is basically saying, and here's my line, and with this, you're going to be having a solid circle at 0. So here's 0, solid circle, but an open circle at 4. So here's 4, open circle. I'm just going to be using this piece in between them. So then everything else, you can just go ahead and erase. Lastly, it's just y equals 5. 5 means it's just going to go up to 5 right here and draw your solid straight line. But again, we're not going to use the entire piece. I'm just going to use at x is less than 0. So open 0 at 0, and then it's the left side of that. So open circle, left side. And that's the only piece that I'll be using. And that is your piecewise function for question number 5. So now that I did number 5 with you guys, I want you guys to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8 on your own. All right, guys, that's basically it. That is basically graphing piecewise functions. And right before the holidays, I have a little extra credit assignment for you guys. It looks like this. You can go ahead and pause the video and write it on a separate piece of paper, or you can grab another piece of paper when I see you guys in person. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And as always, stay safe and healthy. Take care.